If you are new to this channel, welcome. Got some great content on the safety in Coimbra, and what we're going to be talking about is how safe is Coimbra. Ultimately, safety is the concept of being protected from or unlikely to experience danger, risk, or injury. Defensive measures and practices taken to preserve individuals' life, health, and bodily integrity would describe the threats found in a city. Though knowing the dangers and safety of your new residential areas is essential when traveling to a new town. Security can be calculated by the rate of vehicular near misses, injuries, or dangerous situations that a city or town may present. My safety estimate of Coimbra used personal experiences to rate the security from a 1 to 10. The scale of 1 is being extremely dangerous and 10 being relatively safe. My experience in Coimbra involved traveling through the city during the day and night. My rating is based upon observations of any safety protocols to have to protect myself. And I don't want to have to defend myself from any possible dangerous situations, but if I felt that way, I'm just kind of putting it out there. So observing the safety in Coimbra, I found that that it was a very safe city. I walked around Coimbra during the day without any issues. More often than not, drivers were extremely courteous when pedestrians approached crosswalks. People on the streets were always friendly. It is a university town, so like the students there are absolutely willing to help you. Like if you're kind of lost or want to know where something is, they are definitely wanting to help you out. Though compared to Porto, it seemed that the drivers were a little more in a hurry here. The reasoning could be possibly explained by a higher population of tourists. Or it could be these are just people from out of town that are kind of coming in and just kind of wanting to get in and out. So the drivers were a little more interested in getting through the intersections, but they were still courteous. It's just that they might blow through like an intersection, whereas like in Porto and Lisbon, it seemed like more of those places were willing to like stop. They were over courteous in comparison. But when the sun went down, few people were observed in the streets. Still had the lockdown going on, though most people were visiting or leaving restaurants or bars. Being a university town, most of the people that were out and about were students, obviously, and people that were out, like they're just kind of in an open air area that was the Praça República, and they might be watching the soccer game that's on the TV and drinking and eating, but everybody was social distancing and keeping away from each other. It seemed like overall most people appear to be living their lives and not engaged in any dangerous situations. Traveling in bigger towns, I've been stopped by strangers that asked me if I wanted to make purchase of pot or whatever, but never had any type of encounters of anyone selling drugs in Coimbra. Granted, this might occur, but I didn't experience it. Even at night, I really didn't feel like I needed to safeguard myself. My defensive mechanisms naturally go up when I'm traveling at night or surrounded by many people. Overall, I was cautious, but did not feel any situations that were dangerous to me. Though Portugal is known as one of the most peaceful countries in the world, and continues to be one of the most peaceful countries in the world in 2021. It keeps it standing as the 12th safest place in the world. So the bottom line on safety. Overall, I discovered Coimbra to be a safe city, and I rated it a 9. Most likely you'll never encounter any dangerous situations, and the drivers are polite to pedestrians and other drivers. Did not witness any aggressive driving during the day or at night. Though this is as secure as I am depicting Coimbra, keep an eye out for pickpocketers. This is just something that you should always keep an eye out. Though this is true for any tourist areas too. Be conscious, but don't make it a life mission to find that pickpocketer. Just make eye contact and any other safety type mechanisms that you might use. Is Coimbra green and clean? So, what is a green atmosphere? To me, a green atmosphere is a vital aspect of living in a healthy community. The ability to retreat into science of green spaces is essential to my emotional and mental health. A clean environment is also critical for society's emotional, mental, and physical health, because you can walk to places, you can get to interact with people, and you get a mentally rewarding incentive by interacting with other people. So is Coimbra a clean city? Is Coimbra a clean city? Others have stated Coimbra is a clean city. The air quality has been measured and has almost pristine air quality. It also indicates that the quality of the parks and green spaces in Coimbra are relatively elevated. So in my discussion, a higher score here indicates that the city is cleaner and or green. When discussing if Coimbra is green, I questioned if green spaces are nearby. So I had to explore all of Coimbra to see the different green spaces in and around the places. So green spaces are areas that are entirely surrounded by grass, trees, shrubs, or other vegetation. These might be a national park, or just a city park, or simply a community garden. And from my observations of the cleanliness of Coimbra, I found that there were several factors that I needed to look at. The 3 observations that I utilized in my assessment are how much litter was encountered on the street, access to trash bins on the road, and the ability to recycle. Air quality is simply an olfactory observation that I used. So if I smelled some odors that I just could not stand, I basically wanted to tell you about them. Overall, I did not witness these, but I figured that it would be something that is important in this discussion. Some neighborhoods in Coimbra are more pristine than others. Practically every community has some type of nearby green space. So the bottom line, overall, I ranked Coimbra an 8 for being clean and green. Overall, the air quality was very clean. Coimbra was coming out of a shutdown during my visit, so much of the rehabilitation of different neighborhoods has not materialized just yet. They are currently working on a green space down by the river, and I imagine that once this is complete, this is going to be a fantastic area to walk around. Recycling bins could be discovered around neighborhoods, but they are less frequent in different neighborhoods. I believe much of the city will be cleaner in the years to come. The city's green spaces are attractive, especially down by the Mondego River. There's a very nice park there, and then on the other side of Santa Clara, there's a national park that butts up to the city center, which is a really nice place to walk. I was in Coimbra during the autumn months, so I anticipate the parks are actually additionally beautiful during the spring and summer. On.com, and I also write for GoToBlueTegu.com. And all right, we have a great one for you today. What we are going to talk about is healthcare in Coimbra. What's great, if you are an expat, digital nomad, you can generally access the Portuguese subsidized state healthcare. Portuguese healthcare system contains both public and private healthcare. As expected, there is some bureaucracy you must navigate in order to obtain public healthcare. You have to become a resident and go through the residency process. The general standard of healthcare in Portugal is excellent. Portugal ranks 17th in the 2021 World Index of Healthcare Innovation, and that's up from 21st in 2020. So they are continuing to improve each year, and the Iberian nation is also a top tier performer in quality. It's ranked number 3, and it garners lofty marks for its patient-centered care and health outcomes. Due to Portugal's World Healthcare Rating being outstanding, one should expect that the 4th largest city in Portugal to be excellent also. The increased height of my scores illustrate that the healthcare system is doing great. Since Portugal has high quality healthcare, a lower score in Coimbra could mean that there was less access rather than there being less quality of healthcare. So overall, Coimbra appears to have significant access to healthcare. There are numerous hospitals nearby where you can obtain help. There's many clinics where they're set up in different neighborhoods, so you can take a short walk to see a healthcare professional. On the Santa Clara side of the Mondego River was a park with a max COVID vaccination site. So they were doing a great job of getting the citizens of Portugal vaccinated, and they were the first country to have over 90% of their population vaccinated. Though since I have left, I know that they have moved to a couple different locations, and I believe that currently the max vaccination site is over at the Coimbra University. But if it isn't, you can always go check out the Coimbra expat page on Facebook. They are a essential resource to living in Coimbra. So if you have not joined that site, definitely do that if you are considering moving to Portugal. And more importantly, also moving to Coimbra. But the bottom line for me, I have ranked Coimbra's healthcare to be a total of a 9. Thankfully, I did not need access to healthcare during my travels through Portugal. Though my assessment of Coimbra's healthcare system is through the access and speaking with others about their healthcare experiences. Anyway, what we're going to do is talk about Coimbra's community. And you might have been thinking that it's painless to assemble a community in Portugal, how to make friends, any of those type of things. It can be very difficult to make friends, and it's important to take into consideration some different things that you might not have been thinking about. And the first thing is the importance of speaking Portuguese. There are a significant amount of people in Coimbra that do speak English, and though if you really want to garner friendships with Portuguese people like I do, then you're definitely going to need to learn how to speak Portuguese. And if you don't know Portuguese, that's okay. You can go to different communities, like walk down the street, go to a coffee shop, practice one word each day, whether it's just obrigado if you're a man or obrigada if you're a woman, and just practice saying a couple words that are new to your vocabulary. Add one word each time, and then as you are learning these words, you're going to be able to help build a community in the lanes that you're in Portugal. However, the Portuguese do speak some English. Not everybody does, but when they do engage you in English, they're just trying to facilitate the movement of whatever they're trying to do. They want to kind of get you in and out of their business and basically just make things easier. It's not that they're being rude. They're very fantastic people. So I just think that learning the Portuguese language is an essential tool if you're wanting to move to Portugal. I have found that Coimbra has an extensive digital nomad and expat community. So if you need assistance navigating the ins and outs of Coimbra, they are a resource you can utilize. These established communities on Facebook are essential to finding the information that you need to stay in Portugal. So for my interactions with everybody, whether it's Portuguese or if they were expats, I would rank this community in Coimbra as a 9, which is excellent. The citizens in Portugal are cordial. They helped me out tremendously because I do not speak Portuguese fluently. I barely speak English fluently, so being able to communicate with them effectively was great. I found that I was able to navigate through the systems, and where I was not able to communicate with the Portuguese, there was people that in the expat communities and in the digital nomad communities that would help me find out where I needed to go, whether it's to get a bus pass or to try to go from Coimbra to a different city. So I thought it was completely excellent. And considering the COVID situation, I was limited in who and what I could connect to. So considering how things are, I thought that it was completely excellent to have the community that was there. I think in the future that there's ability to build a strong community in Coimbra. So in conclusion of all the stuff about the livability in Coimbra, I talked about the safety, the walkability, the transportation. I also talked about how green and clean the city is. I talked about how access to the healthcare and building a community. So each of these elements of livability might be more useful determining factor and choosing where you might want to live. There might be some other type of factors that might be more influential to you, but I think that these are the top 5 that are useful for me, and they're probably going to be useful for you. So to help compare different places, I believe it is also essential to give a total score to kind of compare between different cities. So to supply the score, I added all the scores from above. I then divided them by 5, and since there's 5 categories, of course, the score I created here is defined as a livability index score. So when I added the scores up, I came up with a total of 41 points. The livability index score for Coimbra is calculated out to be an 8.6. An overall score of 8.0 should be regarded as a very livable location. So if you're considering Coimbra, I would definitely give it a look through. It's definitely a place that you should be taking a look at if you're looking at moving to Portugal. Also, if you've been to Coimbra or intend to go to Coimbra soon, please let me know what you think of Coimbra. I love to hear about other people's opinions, and I absolutely love my time there, and if you're coming soon, I hope that you enjoy it as much as I did. So if you liked what you if you like what you saw here today, please hit the like button. If you haven't subscribed yet, hit the subscribe and hit the bell if you want to be notified of other content. And